Essentially, what we do is we help VC funds, so early stage investors across the world, identify new potential investment opportunities. Quite a niche market, but a pretty hard problem to solve because the earlier you go, the more important it is to capture someone the moment they go into stealth, the moment they start a new company, etc. And kind of like, whereas a company has existed for quite a while, that becomes substantially easier. They've been in the news, they might have a LinkedIn page, there's definitely a website, stuff like that, right? However, we try to go a lot earlier than that. So basically, kind of like the moment a company gets incorporated, essentially the moment someone thinks about starting a company, that's when you really want to hit them, right? Because that's what's important to our clients, that they get in front of the right people as early as possible, which is extremely important previously, but has only grown more important as kind of like the space continue to evolve and essentially grow even more rapidly than it has in the past. So that's in a nutshell what we do. We just help early stage investors identify new potential opportunities.
So in terms of product, I mean, what does it look like? It's a platform, like maybe like some
Yeah.
sort. And I guess it's quite different from a Crunchbase, let's say, which is probably more descriptive.
Yes.
You add more like intelligence in the mix.
Yeah, so I mean, the way we serve and kind of like produce our content is on a platform, and you can think of it as like a Twitter feed, but instead of like it being about your friends and family posting random stuff, it's just new companies, new founders, etc. coming up, right? And that also fits quite well with the thesis of you want it to be as early as possible. That also means we don't just upload data like once a week or once a month. The data is much more feed based, which means that it's continuously updated. That also means that our customers, they check our platform. So like the common way our customers use it is they'll log in it every morning and they'll see like what's new since last day, or they'll log in twice a day and they'll see what's new in the last couple of hours. And then you get literally a feed of like these people started companies, and then you put the customers will then apply a filter on it or like a search criteria, like I want to see in these industry with these backgrounds, with these countries, these nationalities, etc. Right? And then you get a much more curated feed of potential investment opportunities, right? Because so we have kind of like the full data layer underneath. We actually screen out kind of all the more irrelevant stuff like consulting companies, brick and mortar stores, stuff like that. However, there's still a lot of companies, right? So what you want to do as a VC fund is you want to apply kind of like your investment thesis on top. So it might be a Danish one. I invest in people in Denmark, but I also invest in Danish founders abroad in these three industries. And that's essentially what you do. So you make it super narrow. So you only get the kind of like the profiles that are relevant to you, get served in a feed. You check it once a day, and your sourcing is essentially done. So that is pretty much kind of like our promise, right? So it's lowest possible lead time from when something happens to when it appears on our platform, highest possible coverage ratio. So we want to make sure that we cover all the right and all the potential relevant investments for you. And then the last thing, which is where the magic really happens, is you want to make sure there's least amount of noise, right? Because we evaluate all new companies incorporated in Europe and also in the US, which means that just like there's thousands and thousands and thousands of companies a day, and you'll get completely inundated with all of those having to scroll through those, right? So we filter out all the noise, only serve what's relevant to you as a VC investor.